Okay, guys, how are you? I am live here. I think I need to go and cut down the TV a little bit. We've got about 1 minute, so I'm going to go cut the television off so it doesn't interrupt our podcast for this evening. All right, guys, welcome. Welcome to the Let's Start Healthy podcast. My name is Robin Chamberlain, and I will be actually walking you through things that you can do to start healthy. The first thing that I want to talk about, I know it's going to be inverted, but this is the Let's Start Healthy periodical magazine that you will get by subscribing to our actual podcast, as well as our Facebook website, which is acoustichearts.com, and Let's Start Healthy. So today I wanted to talk to you about all of the good things about vegan eating. We also talk about different things when it comes to soul food. We talk about different opportunities on that seasoning and how we'd like everything to taste better. So when we start to look at that, the piece that we have to understand is that those seasonal recipes and everything that we're doing can still be flavored up, guys. It can taste the way you want it to taste. So as a life coach, as a meditation specialist, and also 41 years in cardiology, it is an opportunity for you to have that full body energy, embrace the beauty of what you can do with your diet, your exercise, everything, even just your mindset. This is a whole comprehensive platform that we have. So let's start off and let's talk about how we can actually listen up and dive into fitness success along the lines of eating healthy. So when we start to talk about eating healthy, one of the things that we need to understand that it doesn't matter what country, it doesn't matter what region or village you may be in. Okay, all of this stuff works around the world. So when we see the same burning desire from one continent to one country to another, from all walks of life, we want to know that we want to give ourselves, our family, and our children the best opportunity for a healthy lifestyle. Okay? So when we start to look at that, just understand that our goal here is to make sure that you start healthy. I'd like to start off by talking about one of our sponsors, and that is the actual Here we go. The African American Center, Cultural Center, right here in Palm Coast. They did a wonderful Kwanzaa celebration. And I can tell you all of the different people that were there. It was so exciting. I met so many beautiful people for Sounds Like Church, which is the gospel quartet. Also, I had an opportunity to learn the different activities that are in this area. Like they have a quilt and sew club. But my favorite person was called Ding Dong Pasco, and where she did the actual tambourine dance. So, and her name was Robin. And, you know, whenever you run into another Robin, you're thinking, oh, wow, haven't seen her. This is the first time. But what she does is teaches the art of tambourines, the history and the culture behind it, and she puts it to rhythmic dance. So kudos and shout out to you, Robin. So one of the other things that I wanted to do is also talk to you about opportunities that you may have with Let's Start Healthy. Our website is acoustichearts.com. And on Acoustic Hearts is mainly the meditation website, but we also look at how not only mindset, but we look at how we can heal, thrive, and grow mentally and physically. So we take into all of this comprehensive learning. So let's dive into it. And I was able to find the information on the tambourine. So just give me a moment. So the tambourines, like, do you know that the tambourines is the first musical instrument ever created and dates back to the Stone Age? If that's not something you can applaud about, you know, it shows ancient artifacts, the use of the instrument in religious and cultural ceremonies. And today it can be used in religious as well as secular devotion events. So it's extremely intensively embedded into our African American religion. So just know that the tambourine dates all the way back to the actual Stone Age. So now let's dive into when we talk about Let's Start Healthy. We want to look at the wellness treatments and benefits. So when we start to look at this after a busy week of chores and caring for your loved ones, you want to make sure that your day embodies you in a craving for peace and solitude, even if it's just 10 minutes. I mean, if your peace and solitude comes from cooking or preparing meals, make sure it's not stressful, that you're doing it out of love. Definitely immerse yourself in nature to make sure that your nature wandering mind boosts your body, boosts your energy, and in doing so is self-healing. So now let's talk about the big thing that we came on for, which is cooking. Yes. So tonight's recipe we're going to talk about is a quinoa spring vegetable dish. Okay. Arugula, kumquats, and pistachio topped. So when you start to look at kumquats, you can pluck one, you can pop one. It looks like a little orange. It's kind of a citrusy, and it has a little citrus taste into your mouth, but it can be rather sweet. So what we're going to do is when we're making this dish, it is an opportunity for us to dive into a really good salad. So what you're going to do, you're going to measure 1 1/2 cup of water. Now, mind you, all of these recipes are in our Start Healthy magazines. And if you sign up or send us information, you can get on our mailing list, and these books will come to you once a quarter. All right, so 1 1/2 cup of water, 1/2 teaspoon of salt. You can salt a little bit more, but I try to stay away from salt, so I use sea salt or either Himalayan salt. 1 cup of quinoa, 4 ounces of feta cheese, crumbled, And you want 1/4 cup of fresh herbs such as dill, mint, or cilantro. I use a lot of cilantro in my cooking. 6 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, 3 tablespoons of fresh lemon juice. And I like to squeeze those lemons. I don't use the one in the little container. And then what we do is this 6 ounces of snap peas trimmed. We're going to take 4 tablespoons of champagne vinegar or white wine vinegar. I prefer the white wine vinegar. 2 cups of wild or baby arugula, 2 carrots, very thinly sliced, 1 fennel bulb, trimmed, very nicely trimmed. You want those trimmed down. And then you want 12 kumquats, okay, sliced. If you don't like kumquats, another thing that you can do to put into this is 4 tangerines, peeled and separated into sections. You want that little citrus taste to the dish. You want 2 watermelon radish, peeled and very thinly sliced. That's going to give it that little zing, that little taste on the tip of your tongue. And then you want a 1/2 cup of shelled roasted pistachios. Now, once you get all of this information and all of your things that you're going to blend together, we're going to get into making our salad. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to bring that 1 1/2 cup of water and salt to a simmer in a heavy or small saucepan over medium heat. So you're going to bring it to a simmer, not a boil, just a simmer. But you're going to add the quinoa. You're going to cover and simmer until the liquid has been absorbed and the quinoa is tender. It takes about 20 minutes, but that gives you time to do all of the little preps, like the very thin trimming of things and putting everything together. Now, once this 20 minutes has passed, you're going to transfer it to a quinoa bowl, to a large bowl, and you're going to fluff it gently with a fork. Just spread it out and let it cool completely. Okay? Add the cheese, add the herbs, the 2 tablespoons of the oil, and the lemon juice, fresh squeezed lemon juice. And then what you're going to do is you're going to stir it up till it comes to a good combination. It's combined very well. And then you're going to season it with salt and pepper. And you can season and salt to taste with the salt and pepper. Now, meanwhile, while this is all going on, you want to cook the snap peas in a medium pot of rapidly boiling salted water until they're crisp, okay? Al dente, crisp. We don't want them mushy. And then you're going to drain well, okay? And you can actually prepare these ahead of time. So if you want to do those a day or 2 ahead and just cover and leave them refrigerated, that's perfectly fine. So it makes this a very quick dish. Now, once that's done, you're going to whisk together the remaining 4 tablespoons of oil and the vinegar, the white wine vinegar. You're going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of salt just to blend in a small bowl for the dressing. Okay, so you're going to mix that up. You're going to mix the snap peas, the arugula, the carrots, the fennel, the kumquats, the radishes, and pistachios into the quinoa mixture. You're going to toss the dressing and serve. So in the meanwhile, what you're doing is you're slicing everything, you're dicing everything, you're making sure that everything is nice and thin, because that's what adds to the texture of this dish. Now, you can use a very inexpensive slicer to shade paper thin slices of the fennels, the carrot, and the watermelon radish, because that might be kind of hard to get it thin. Or if you like it thicker size for more crunch to it, you decide after the first time how you like the salad, what tastes best. But this one is a very heart healthy, but very tasteful salad that you can do that will complement, even if you wanted to add a protein to it. There's salmon, there's chicken breast. You can do things like that. I tend to like just the salad. All right. So just remember, when you're looking at starting healthy, The key thing that you want to do is mind, body, and soul. Heal, thrive, and grow mentally, physically, and the next time we're going to talk about financially. So have a great week. We'll see you next Wednesday at 7 p.m. And welcome to the Let's Start Healthy podcast. Be blessed.